At the southern end of a continent, the world does not simply stop, it unravels. The land frays into a fractured coastline of fjords and islands, the mountains lose their soil and expose their granite bones, and the sky becomes a vast, dominant presence, an arena for weather systems that gather their strength over 3,000 miles of uninterrupted ocean. This is not a place that was designed for life, but a place where life has persisted as an act of profound negotiation. It is the result of a planet's raw geological processes, of tectonic uplift, volcanic fire, and the immense grinding patience of ice, left exposed to the most relentless wind on Earth. To be here is to feel the true scale of the world, to understand that the human presence is not a given, but a fragile and temporary occupation of a landscape that is fundamentally indifferent to it. This is the story of that indifference and of the life that has learned to exist within it. It is an exploration of how the immense elemental forces of wind, ice, and isolation have forged a world at the very edge of the world, a wilderness that is not empty, but is instead filled with a powerful and uncompromising logic of its own. This is not an empty land. It is a landscape of immense and subtle energies, a world where the primary force is not growth, but endurance. Here, in the thin, clean air at the bottom of the globe, where the light has a piercing clarity and the silence is a palpable presence, geology and biology have been locked for eons in a conversation of survival. This is a world where the wind is not just a feature of the weather, but the organizing principle of existence itself, the sculptor of the rock, the seed carrier, the author of the rain shadow, the very texture of daily life. It is a world where survival is not a battle against nature, a conquest of the land, but a long, patient, and deeply intelligent accommodation with it, a conversation carried on not in words, but in the angle of a tree's growth, the thickness of an animal's coat, and the quiet, resilient posture of a human settlement against the immense, unyielding horizon. This is a story of a life lived not in spite of the emptiness, but because of it, a life shaped by the immense, quiet, and powerful logic of the last wilderness. In the far south of the Chilean Andes, the Earth's crust has been pushed to its vertical limit. The Paine Massif is not a mountain range in the conventional sense. It is a geological event, a pluton of granite forced upward through the sedimentary rock of the surrounding plains and then excavated by the colossal power of glacial ice. What remains are not mountains, but the planet's exposed teeth, pillars of igneous rock that stand in direct opposition to the single greatest force that defines this landscape. The wind. The westerlies, having traveled unimpeded across the Pacific, strike this first great barrier with an accumulated energy that is almost unimaginable. The wind here is not an occasional phenomenon. It is a constant physical presence, a fluid force that carves stone, dictates the shape of every living thing, and fills the air with a sound that is not noise, but the audible expression of the landscape's own immense power. To stand here is to understand that the architecture of this place was not designed by tectonics alone, but was sculpted and continues to be sculpted by the air itself. Every form of life in the shadow of these towers is a study in adaptation. The condor does not fight the wind, it masters it, reading the invisible currents and eddies with an intelligence that is purely physical. It is a creature made of the air it inhabits, a living sail that has perfected the art of using resistance to its advantage. The Lenga forest, clinging to the thin soil of the mountain slopes, tells a story of endurance written in wood. Each tree is a testament to a battle fought and survived, its twisted form not a sign of weakness, but a symbol of a resilience that is flexible rather than rigid. The trees have learned that to stand straight in the face of such a force is to break. Survival here is a matter of yielding, of finding the path of least resistance, of bending so as not to be broken. This is not life as an assertion of dominance, but life as a quiet, persistent, and deeply intelligent negotiation with a power that is absolute and eternal. The silence between the gusts of wind is not an absence of sound, but a moment of tension, a held breath before the air moves again, reaffirming its ultimate authority over this entire landscape. Further south, where the Andes reach their highest and most inhospitable elevations, The dominant force is not wind, but its consequence: ice. The southern Patagonian ice field is a relic of the last ice age, a vast, high-altitude reservoir of frozen time. This is the third largest store of fresh water on the planet, a kingdom of cold so immense that it generates its own weather systems, its own climate. The precipitation that falls here does not become water, it becomes snow, which, under its own immense weight, compresses into the dense, blue, crystalline structure of glacial ice. This is not a static landscape, it is a river, moving with a slowness that defies human perception, a colossal engine of erosion that grinds mountains into dust and carves the deep U-shaped valleys that define the Patagonian landscape. To witness this place is to witness the planet's geological processes operating on a scale that dwarfs human history. To understand that the world we inhabit is still being actively shaped by the same elemental forces that created it. Where the ice meets the water, its slow, patient journey ends in a moment of sudden, violent transformation. The calving of the Perito Moreno Glacier is not an act of destruction, but a process of renewal, the return of ancient water to the global cycle. The sound it makes is the sound of geological time being punctuated, a reminder that this seemingly permanent landscape is in a constant state of flux. The deep, impossible blue of the ice is the color of time itself, the result of millennia of compression that has squeezed every air bubble, every imperfection from the frozen water, leaving only a structure that absorbs every color of the spectrum except blue. It is the color of purity, of density, of immense age. For the climbers who come to the foot of Fitzroy, the challenge is not merely physical. It is a confrontation with a landscape that is vertical, hostile, and utterly indifferent to their presence. It is a pilgrimage to the heart of the world's raw power, a desire to touch something that feels eternal. To climb here is to enter a world of ice and rock governed by its own unforgiving rules, to engage in a temporary and deeply personal negotiation with forces that will always, in the end, have the final say. East of the Andean wall, the land opens into an emptiness so vast it redefines the concept of distance. This is the Patagonian steppe, a landscape born from a profound absence. The same mountains that catch the Pacific moisture and feed the glaciers create a vast rain shadow to their east, a territory starved of water. This is not a desert of sand, but a desert of wind and grass, a semi-arid plain that covers hundreds of thousands of square miles. The logic of this place is one of scarcity. Life here is not about abundance, but about the conservation of energy, the efficient use of limited resources. The sky is the dominant feature, a vast, ever-changing canvas of cloud and light that dwarfs the low, horizontal line of the Earth. To travel here is to experience a form of sensory deprivation that is also a form of heightened awareness, to become attuned to the subtle shifts in the wind, the distant movement of an animal, the profound and intimidating silence of a world stripped down to its bare essentials. In this landscape of horizontal immensity, survival is a matter of endurance and solitude. The native animals are built for this world, adapted to the scarcity of water and the constant wind. But for the humans who came here, it required a radical recalibration of existence. The estancia is not just a farm. It is an island of human persistence in a sea of emptiness, a self-sufficient world defined by the immense distances that separate it from everything else. The life of the gaucho is a life lived in negotiation with this distance, a solitary existence governed by the needs of the animals and the rhythm of the seasons. Their connection to the land is not one of ownership, but of deep, practical intimacy. It is an inherited knowledge, passed not through books, but through action. They know the location of every spring, the meaning of every cloud formation, the subtle signs that mark the changing of the seasons. It is a wisdom born from the harsh necessities of living in a world that offers no shelter, no comfort, no quarter. The journey south is a journey of dissolution, a process by which the solid continent breaks apart, surrendering itself to the sea. The Carretera Austral is more than a road. It is a fragile human thread stitched across a landscape that actively resists it, a testament to the desire to connect the most isolated communities at the end of the world. Here, water, in its liquid form, becomes the dominant architect, carving the land into a labyrinth of fjords and channels, polishing stone into the surreal organic forms of the marble caves. This is a world where the boundary between land and water is in constant negotiation. Further south, across the turbulent waters of the Strait of Magellan, lies Tierra del Fuego, the land of fire. It is an island at the end of the world, a place of profound isolation and mythic resonance. The very name speaks of a human presence in a landscape that seems to forbid it. A memory of the fires of the indigenous Yagan people, a people who lived in this cold, wet world for millennia. Their survival, a masterpiece of adaptation that has now all but vanished. The Beagle Channel is the final corridor, the last waterway before the open chaos of the Drake Passage and the white continent of Antarctica. To stand on its shores is to feel the full weight of the globe at your back, to understand that you can go no further. The city of Ushuaia is a paradox, a modern outpost of commerce and tourism clinging to the edge of a primeval world. It is a frontier of human ambition, a testament to the relentless drive to inhabit every corner of the planet. Yet the wilderness that surrounds it is not diminished by its presence. It is merely held at bay. The mountains, the sea, and the wind remain the dominant forces, a constant and powerful reminder that human settlement here is not a conquest, but a tenancy, a temporary arrangement with a landlord who is ancient, powerful, and utterly unsentimental. A journey through Patagonia is a journey through deep time. It is a confrontation with the raw, elemental forces that shape the planet, a world that existed long before us and will exist long after we are gone. In none of these places did human life attempt to conquer the landscape it occupied. It adapted, it endured, it accepted the terms that the wind, the ice, and the isolation dictated. This is not a story of human dominance over nature, a narrative that has become so common in the modern world. It is a story of human accommodation with it, a story of humility, ingenuity, and a profound, unspoken respect for a power that is absolute. It is a reminder that the Earth does not belong to us. What has persisted here is not the result of favorable circumstance, but of a long inherited familiarity with impermanence and pressure. It is the accumulated understanding that the most appropriate response to an unstable and challenging world is not to demand that it stabilize, but to learn, across generations, the precise and subtle art of living well within it. As the modern world confronts a future defined by a changing climate, where the permanence of ice is no longer a given and the stability of weather is no longer assured, these remote landscapes no longer look like relics of a distant, irrelevant past. They begin to feel like a warning and also perhaps like a guide. They are a quiet but powerful testament that the most resilient life is not always the one that builds the highest walls, but the one that learns to listen most closely to the earth, to understand its materials, to respect its forces, and to find its place within its oldest, most powerful, and most enduring rhythms. This is the value of wilderness, not as something to be used, but as something to be known. It is a form of wisdom the world has largely forgotten, a wisdom it may desperately need to remember.